God, I'm so, oh shit. Such an amateur. My hand. And there's the old one. Ming in. Oh, so you're breathing all that in. Hi, welcome back to another video. This is my Mark 1 Audi TT Roadster, and today we're going to get it in the unit and try and give it a full service. I've never serviced a car before in my life, so this is going to be interesting for me and hopefully interesting for you guys to watch. And yeah, so let's get it into the unit and I'll meet you in there. Right, so this is the box that come through the post the other day. Should, unless I've ordered it wrong. So I'm going to get you to order stuff from now on, because then I can. Do you know how bad it is not being able to blame somebody else? Right. Well, it all looks like a service kit. Okay, so we've got 5 litres of oil, and I think I saw on YouTube this morning, I think they might take 7. But it's not going anywhere, so if it does need a bit more, I'll get some more. We got fuel filter, oil filter. Remember those spark plugs I ordered? Spark plugs, another set. And then we got I think that's the air filter, and then that's the cabin filter. And that's it, and a nice spare box. Who don't like a box? And then in this box, what do we have here? More spark plugs. Oh no, they're not. Fucking bulbs. Oh, yeah. Okay. Maybe I did something right and read the instructions or the description. So yeah, but I think that is for that Mercedes that I've got outside, which I'm going to feature on the channel very soon. I'm going to just try and flick between 2 cars. Not lose sidetrack with the Audi, but whilst something may be going off to paint or what have you, we can bring the Mercedes in and we can, try and bring that back to life. Okay, so this is everything we need. I've got my tools, I think, a hammer and a chisel. That seems to be the go-to tools in my kit. We'll get the car on the ramp now and get it up in the air, and then I'll bring you back when I'm ready. Well, I've just lifted the ramp up just to check, make sure before I go any further. So I've put the 2 arms and the back arms on. So let's get it up. Right, I don't need to go any higher, because otherwise, well, I've got to bring it down, otherwise I'm working on this bit. That was already loose. It does look like they're already there, so maybe that one's broken there, so I can get a new one. Right. Actually, what I will do, because obviously I want to try and look after this floor. I'm going to put a dust sheet down, and then I've got some cardboard. We'll put that down as well on top. Okay. So I've never had this van, that's because I'm working on vans all day, but I've never had this car on the ramp yet to have a good look at underneath. Bearing in mind it's been sat in someone's front garden for the last 4 years. And it don't look too bad. It generally don't look too bad at all, apart from your standard surface rust. Nothing a good rub down, and then, an under seal won't sort. I've got new suspension for it anyway, so I'm not really bothered about the suspension arms and the springs, because all they're being replaced. And any control arms, anything like that, we can, as long as they're all right, we don't. But it just needs a real good clean. like I say, it's been stood around for a while, but I'm not shocked, even with my lack of engineering skills. I mean, I can polish a turd. I did. I mean, that Golf over there was a right shed when I had it. But yeah, no, I'm pleased with that, to be fair. But exhaust looks all right. No holes that I can see. I'd say that is the original. Yeah, it's got the Audi mark on there. I'd say that that's the original exhaust. But no oil leaks that I can see as of yet. Obviously, we've got to take this under tray off. Will these screws come out? Who knows? But we'll give it a go. But yeah, so far I'm really impressed with this car. In fact, I'm actually falling in love with this car, and I think I'm going to keep it. So, right. I found this in the tub spray over there. Maintenance spray. Loosens seized parts. Well, I think these are seized, so let's spray it on. Bloody stinks, I know that for sure. And it, oh. Right. I'm just spraying there. There's spray there as well. I quite like that, just spray everything. Right. I think it's a T25. So it's a torque. Let's not celebrate too early because it's just the first one. 2. Ah, look at that. That there, for any good mechanic. See how they've like put a groove in that? Because I reckon that was seized at one point in its life. So instead of like rounding it off, they put a groove in. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I might be talking out my arse, but it's come out now. Must be that magic spray. I don't want to get my hopes up too soon, but they're coming out quite easy. Right, so yeah, so this is some shield. I don't know what it's for, but basically we've got to get this off because underneath there is the drain for the sump and the oil filter somewhere under there. So we'll get this out of the way, and then that should just give us the access that we need. That's why we're taking that off. So I'll put these screws somewhere out the way so we don't lose them, and carry on. Not bad. Thought that one was going to go there. I'd have cut the camera, chiseled it off and said, oh, that one's missing. Never mind. Cut. Laura's pissing herself behind the camera. You can laugh if I'm making a prat of myself. Right. Is it just that one? Okay, let me get a ratchet on it or something. Right. It would be the last one, wouldn't it? Let's get that in there. Yay. This is where a bird's nest or a rat nest falls out. Typical. the bloody hell? And it's not, it's screwed. Maybe it wasn't connected. No. All right, one plastic shield. Right, let's put that out of the way. And just for camera purposes, there's no drip oils, so I could safely say that that engine has got no oil leaks. Not yet anyway, I haven't touched it yet. Okay, so I've just took the ratchet off the socket because I couldn't do it without this. So, and I've just figured out the best way of holding this. God, I'm so, oh shit. I'm such an amateur. That is hot. Okay. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to make sure all of these were tight because it's probably piss out now. Right, before it gets too heavy, let's just drop it down. There. I've just got the old sump, which is that, a sump plug? I think it is. So I've just retrieved that, so don't lose that because you can quite easily drop it like I have. And then just make sure that you follow the drip. See why I put cardboard down there? Oh, it's just an oil change. That was really stressful. And I'd say that was the easy bit. Right, so we'll need that to put back in once it's stopped dripping. I'm just going to go and put some new gloves on. Okay, so the majority of the oil now is just dripping out. We've just got a little bit of the excess to go, so I'll wait a while for that. So while that's happening, I'm just going to get the sump plug and just going to check over that. So let me just get some rag. Aha! We'll just give that a bit of a clean and just make sure, because there's like a washer on there, like a seal, and I haven't got a new one. So let me just put my light on. Just make sure that it's not damaged in any way, it's not creased. So we'll just give it a bit of a clean up, like so. Because obviously we've got to reuse that to go back in there. So we want to just try and minimise any chances of the oil leaking, because we don't want that. So like I said, there ain't no oil leaks on this car. I want to keep it that way. Right, so we've got that clean, so I'll just leave that there, just while the remainder's just dripping out. And then what we've got to do now, we've just got to get that oil filter out. So I've bought, I don't know if you call it a special tool, but basically that hooks onto the bottom of it, and then you put your, I don't know what you call it, your ratchet on it, and then just knock it off. But I am going to try and see if it is actually hand, if I can do it by hand. Yeah, but I've just found another tub just to try and catch this excess oil, because obviously the oil filter is going to be full of oil. So don't just think, oh, you know, I've drained the oil, there's nothing in there. We take that off now, I'm expecting oil to just flow out in any direction, because it's channeled there just into a little hole. Up there it's just a great big hole with loads of things in the way. So let's have a go if we can just do it by hand. Yeah, no. Plan B. Halfords again. I love Halfords today. So what we're going to do is we're going to get that on there. goes on a certain way, so make sure it's on nice and straight and it's not skewy. And then I just need to get my ratchet till we got the socket on. And what we're going to do now, we're just going to, oh yeah, that was easy enough. Just break it off, get it to a point, I suppose, where we can do it by hand. So if I try and get that off, leave that tool on for now. Bearing in mind that this is going to be full of oil as well, so as you can see, the oil's just peeing out everywhere, but it's fine, it's all under control until I drop it. Oh God, who would be a mechanic? Okay, I've got arm cramp. Oh shit, okay. I just got to try and squeeze it between all these pipes without spilling. Oh God. Okay, right. Oh, that weren't too bad. Can you see up there? That's where I've just unscrewed it from. See it? So what we'll do is we'll just let the oil do its thing, drain out. Then we'll give it a clean. Okay, so while we're just letting that drip, we're just gonna give this area a bit of a clean. Just get rid of all that excess oil that dripped out the oil filter. So just all off the pipes. I mean, I know I'm servicing this car, but God, a part of me really just wants to get the jet wash on all this and start detailing it all. But let's get all the things that need to be done. Get all that done out of the way. Right, let me get a clean cloth, and we'll just clean the top of that housing where the oil filter is going to sit, or the new one. So we'll just clean that there, make sure it's got a nice seal on it. I hope this engine and car appreciates what I'm trying to do to it. I do always think that these cars have souls. Not sure this one yet. Okay. Give that a clean. There's some nice cobwebs up there, aren't there? Right. So that's that. Just clean that area there. I think that's kind of it, really. He says. I mean, I suppose you're going to get a bit of a drip, aren't you? But there's one working on it. Right. What did I do with the sump plug? And just, I think, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, because there's going to be people who have a bit more knowledge than me, but I'm pretty sure that these are magnetic, which is the idea that it picks up any wear and tear in the engine. And I know I've cleaned it, but I did inspect it before, and there ain't I can't see any rubbish or anything like that in the oil. So I'm pretty certain that this is a good, solid engine. Okay, so this engine is the 225. It's a Quattro, so it's the four-wheel drive. It's got the two exhausts at the back. And I was wondering, is it the BAM engine? And I did a bit of Googling and searching this morning, and all the telltale signs that Google was telling me is it got the twin exhaust in the back? Is it a 6-speed, which it is? Has it got the two intercoolers at the front? So on the other models, you've got just the main intercooler at the front, but on the I don't know if it's the BAM or it's just the 225, but you've got the two single intercooler mounts on the ends, which this has. But the biggest telltale sign is on the service book, the main stamp from the the manufacturers when it was made or released, which was 2000, I think September 2000. There it is in black and white, BAM. So I think that this is a forged bottom end. So if you wanted to get bigger power out of this engine, it would cope with it. That's my understanding anyway. I'm not going to go down that route because obviously I've got the R32 to mess around with, but at least, you know, it's just nice peace of mind knowing that you've got a good strong engine. Right, less of that dribble, and then let's stop this dribble. So we're just going to tighten this sump plug back up. So that's just bit there. So what we'll do, we'll just give it a knock and one more, and I think maybe one more for good luck. Yeah, and that's tight. But before, so I'll put the oil filter on as well. But before we do, obviously, an oil, obviously. But before we do anything or put it back together, we'll get the engine running, and then we'll just make sure on tick over, and we'll just make sure that there's no oil leaks coming from these areas that I've messed with. And then once we're happy with that, we can put the, I don't know, the guard or whatever back on. But what I'll probably do is I'll probably just, you know, spray this and polish that while it's up like this. But no, let's get the oil filter on, and then we can start filling it up with oil. Right. Do you know what? I'm glad I bought that, because I would not have got that oil filter off, I don't think. Okay, right. Let's get the new oil filter out. There we go. Bosch. Let's just compare, make sure. I can't see why not. Yeah, that looks the same. And then what we'll do, we're just going to put a little bit of the oil around this new seal. And I believe the reason why we do that is because it stops it from seizing when you're due to do another service on it. So you don't need a lot, but just enough. Yeah, you don't want to like douse it with oil, but just a tiny bit on your finger, spread it around that seal there. Job done. Right, let's get it back home. It's definitely a lot easier without oil all in it. And then obviously, I know we all joke and we have a laugh, but we just got to make sure that we carefully feed it back on straight and we're not cross-threading it. And once you're happy with it, go ahead and lock it up, like so. Get it as tight as you can, fingers. And obviously my hands are so oily, so what we'll do, I'll just get the end back on it and we'll just give it a bit of a tickle. I don't know why I said tickle. I think that's on. And when I got it on first time. One last little turn for luck. And I think we're all done. Well, just got to put the oil in it and then just make sure that there's no leaks. And again, another Another reason why I'm cleaning it and just making sure all that excess oil is off the engine is that when we do run it up, if there is any leaks, you're going to see the oil. If you haven't cleaned all your old oil away and you've got drips here, there and everywhere, then you're never going to find out if you have got one, or you're going to be you're making your life a lot harder. So we clean all the excess oil off it, make sure there's no drips. We'll put the fresh oil in it, we'll start the engine up, give it a run, lift it back up, and we'll just check, make sure that there's no oil leakages. And then if that's the case, we can then move on to the next. Right, so I've just tidied up this area as best as I can. I've just put some of my tools away. I've disregarded the, discarded the old oil. Well, I've just put it outside for now, just so it's out of the way, so I don't tread in it. And then what we're going to do now, we're going to bring the car down, going to get the new oil out, fill that up to the level, you know, that the dipstick tells you to. Start it up, and then what we're looking for is we're looking to make sure that the oil light goes off, because that's what we want. That's what we want to achieve first. Once that goes off and we're happy, we'll lift it back up, and then we'll just check and make sure that there's no oil leaks coming from the bits that I've undone. And then once we're happy with that, that is when then you would put your hit shield back on. But I'm not going to do that because in a few videos time, I'm going to be underneath this car and we're going to be basically rubbing and sanding everything down that we can and under sealing it all. So yeah, and then I'll put that back on. So right, let's get it down, get the oil in, and go from there. Okay. Do you know, I went trigger happy at Alfred's today. And I got myself a funnel. So we're going to put, how it come with that? How it came with a filter. Do I use it? I suppose it just stops any rubbish filtering into the engine. So pop that in there like that. And then obviously we've already took the oil cap off. I'm going to put some gloves on, but so we'll just put that something like that. We also need to just put the dipstick back in, because obviously that's what's going to give us the reading to tell us when to stop. And then I have no doubt once we've got the engine running, we'll probably need to put a bit more in, so we'll just keep an eye on that as well. So if you are changing your own oil, I mean, listen to me giving people advice. This is the first time, well, it is the first real time that I've done one, but I assume that the oil filter is going to take some, so just check twice. Just make sure that the reading is at its max for the oil. Okay, right. So we've gone, well, 5W30. I have no idea what that means, but that's what they recommended with the kit. So we'll just take the end off there. Actually, before I do that, let me just, I shouldn't have probably put that down in the dirty scuttle panel area. So we'll just clean that off there, just stop any dirt being on the stick. And then we'll just put that back in. So that's home. Everything's all hooked up. And then just carefully does it. God, look how clear that oil is. This is where I should be telling you. I know how much litre-wise this engine needs. So if I haven't paused the video, I'll put it at the end of what it needs. Okay, I've just given my arm a rest and I've just noticed there's an actual gauge on here. So I take it that's 1 litre, 2 litre, 3 litre, 4 litre, and at the end 5 litres. So what we'll do is, I'm going to probably stop it about there, and then I'm going to check the dipstick, see where we're at, and then I can gauge it from there. So let's get down to that mark there. Just check again. You think more's coming out? All right, I'm happy with that there. Right, let's just put that there, and then let me just go and get some rag. And let's just check, see where this oil level is before we go any further. Okay, so I reckon if we go to 4 litres, that might just knock it onto the max. Obviously, we'll start the engine. Once it circulates and that, no doubt we've got to put more in, but so far so good. Right, let's put a bit more in then. Let's just try that. So we are, yeah, let's go with 4. Let's go with 4, why not? Okay. Oh, you're back. Right, let's just check that again. Right, well, we've just gone slightly over. So that why not was a why did you? So, but obviously it's got to circulate and everything. So let's put that back. Let's put the cap back on, and then we can start this baby up. Right. I was wondering what that yellow cap was then. Did you? You knew? Why didn't you say something? Okay. So we've turned the ignition on. I'm looking for the oil light. Well, there's no oil light. There's an airbag light, but that was already on. So let's take her up and we'll have a little look. Fingers crossed there's no oil leaks. So let's check the sump plug first. That all looks dry at the moment. I reckon that's probably just a little bit of excess. We just clean that little bit there, and then we can just keep an eye on it again. That might just be from, you know, I didn't quite clean it. So we'll just leave that to run. We'll just leave that to run now. We'll give it 5-10 minutes, let it get up to temperature. Make sure there's no lights come on the dash, make sure there's no oil leaks. And then once I'm happy that there ain't, we can kind of like tick that one off and we'll move on to the next. So I'm using just a bit of tar and glue remover. There's probably better stuff out there on the market, but I haven't got it. Just, it's cleaner, it'll do the job. That's all I want to do. Right, we get it down now. We'll bring it down, we'll check the dipstick. If we need to put any more oil in, then we'll do that now. And then that's the oil and oil filter change ticked off. So we've got no lights on the dash, which is a good sign. No oil light. Turn it off. And now we'll just check the dipstick. Okay, so we could just come to check the oil now. So I've left it for a few minutes. Just let that oil kind of like drain back down to its original level. And then I'll be able to get a better reading then. So we'll just check, see where it's at. Just wipe that off. And then we'll just check it now. I mean, that does look like it's on the max. Let's just give it a second. We are dead on. We're dead on. I don't think we need to put any more in that. I'll take that back out. I will when I come back in on Monday, I'll double check it. Oh, that's going to annoy me. Better. So on to the next part. Now the oil bit's done. So we've got the air filter and then we've got the pollen filter to sort out. So I believe it's just two, I forgot what they're called, Phillips screwdrivers. Well, it's the screwdriver I need, but it's the bloody screw that I need to undo. So yeah, so we just got those two to undo, and then I believe it just unclips. And I'm hoping not to have to disconnect anything, but if we do, we do. We'll just come to that. And then we've got the pollen filter, which is just under there. And that is just a case of just pulling it out and pushing a new one in. So, right, let's get to it. One Phillips screwdriver. So we're just going to undo those. So we've undone them, and then okay, right, so I think I've got to undo this here. So we'll just undo that. There we go, that just makes it a bit easier. There we go. I don't know when this was changed last, but obviously, like I said, it's been stood still for 4 years. Oh geez, that's the worst one I've ever seen. That definitely needs replacing. Well, I'll show you. Let me get the new one out and we can have a look. So there's the new one, and there's the old one. Ming in. I mean, it's an Audi one. Mine one's not. So what I'll do is, I'm just going to put the date. You wouldn't believe it, but my dad was a mechanic. You'd think I'd know something, but just wasn't interested. So it's the 7th month, and it's 26, the year. So at least I know. And I think it just goes in one way. But first of all, just make sure Make sure there's no crap anything in there, nothing blocking it. Just sits in there like that. And then tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to undo that there. Get those. I don't think it's set in right. Definitely don't go in like that. There we go. Right. I think that just literally clips in at the front here, and then just those two Phillips screws to hold it down that side. And where have I put my screwdriver? That's worrying because I don't think that was the one I was using. So just tightening these two screws back up. There we go, and it's all clicked in at the front here. And then I think this is the MAF sensor. We'll just click that on there. Push that back on there. And then just tighten up that Jubilee. Okay. Okay, right. Right, so that's the air filter done. Now just the pollen filter. And I think I need a flat-bladed screwdriver. So I was struggling to get the pollen filter out at this point. I thought it would just pull out, but it looks like I had to unclip the scuttle panel, and there's I think there's a torque screw in there which I had to undo, and that took the drainage bit out, and then I was able to get it out. Pretty certain from my windscreen days that is like a drip tray, so if the water gets down it kind of funnels and then over the, I think that will give me the access now. That's what I was struggling with. I wonder if that comes on the new one. Look at that, that is minging. Oh, so you're breathing all that in. No wonder the when I put the air vents on it ponged. Oh, that's disgusting. That is genuinely disgusting. Okay, so there's the new one, there's the old one. So we do have to keep this. So how does it come apart? Like that. Under here. I think you just got to try and wedge it in like that. And I think that there, I remember rightly, those are the front tabs, so that's the back I think. Yeah, can you see? So you got like these 3 tabs here, and they slot into those 3 holes there. You see them? Mm-hmm. Okay. So we know what we've got to do. But will it? Yeah, he's only gone and done it. All right. Right. Let's just give that a bit of a quick clean. Like I say, I love cleaning things. Oh shit. Look at that. Like new. Ta-da! Right. So get that in that side. Ah, there we go. Oh my God. Thank you very much. Ew.
I've done the right one.
I think that's going in. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Right, okay. So that bit's in. And then there was just this something or other. Okay, so that just clicks in at the bottom. So you've got two like tabs at the bottom. No. So you just click them in at the bottom. You probably won't see this on camera. And then you see that bit there, you just push that in. Like so. And then push that in. And then that just kind of, I think, just shields. And then this scuttle panel from my windscreen days should just click back into that plastic retainer. Like so. Just don't push too hard because you crack the windscreen. And then we'll just put that rubber strip. Well, we can sort that out. And that is the pollen filter. Whew, and an air filter done. And the oil. So the next thing we've got to tackle is we've got to try and get these, we've got to try and get that bit off there, the coil packs out, and then get the spark plugs out. And I've got some new ones to put in. Right, let's crack on. Okay, onto the spark plugs now. So obviously we've got to remove, I really don't know what this is. I mean, I'm going to do a bit of research, but I know that this needs to be moved. Obviously we've got the coil packs, so we need to unclip those, unplug them, and then obviously that will give me the access to get the spark plugs out. So I can see that there's, I think they look like 2 10mm nuts. So let's start undoing stuff and see where we go. Can always put it back. we go. Finally. Okay. Right. Let's put that up there. Then just need to get I never get on with these. So you've got a I really don't know what you've got to do, but you've basically got to move that, and then I just kind of help that along. It's obviously releasing something. See how like I just lift that out like that, and then with this pig's foot just kind of help it slide off. Right, so that's the connectors off for the coils. And then, I assume, with a little persuasion, that's coil number 1, or 4, I don't know, but it's the first one I took out. They don't look in bad shape, to be fair. So we'll stick that there. Twist that round just to bypass that pipe. Number 2. Getting attacked. Number 3. They're in good nick, to be honest. Must have been replaced. And then number 4. Just wiggle it past that bit. There we go. Right, okay. We'll put that there. I'm sure it'll. So if you want to get the camera, Law, and just basically that's where the spark plugs are. So there is a special tool for that, which I'll go and grab and set up. And then hopefully we can get them out without snapping anything, and get the new ones in and then just put it back. That's the plan anyway. So that's me spark plug. I think they are specially, I've got, it's a 10mm one, so let's just make sure that it does fit onto it. Yep. So what we'll do, we'll just put a it the right way around, and then just nice and easy. Like that. And then we can do the rest by hand. And it should, in theory, once it comes loose, the spark plug should kind of like stay in the socket, and you should be able to just pull the whole lot up, he says. Hey! Something's worked. I mean, that's not bad really. I mean, I don't know when they were last replaced. It's still Audi. So whenever the last Audi service was. Alright, let's get the rest of them out. Is the last one. Ta-da! Alright. What I'll do is I'll just get the new one out and then we can just compare. I'd like to come over to the bench. So again, we've got some Bosch ones. look a bit different, but I'm pretty sure they'll be the same. Okay, right, let's get these new ones in. Right, let's get these new spark plugs in. So I'll tell you what, let's start with the one that I finished on. So just carefully start the thread, because we don't want to cross thread them. I think that's tight enough. I'm literally just, I'm sure there's a torque setting, but I'm not over tightening them, but they're not going to go anywhere. What's the oil? Right, so now the spark plugs are in, it's time to put everything back together. So let's do that. So I'm just putting the coil packs in now, just giving them a quick clean, and I'm spraying a bit of lubricant on the rubber part of it, kind of just thinking they'll be easier to remove when I need to do the next service. Yeah, managed to get them all in. You do see a little hand appear now and again, that's my wife, I think she's helping, but she's not. I think we're all good, aren't we? Thank God for that. Right, let's have a bit of a tidy up, and then let's fire up, and hopefully it shouldn't sound any worse than what it did. Okay, so oil filter's done, air filter, pollen filter, and all the spark plugs are all been changed, and everything is back on apart from the engine cover, but we don't need to, you know, put that back on just yet. So let's give it a start and hope it starts. It purrs. Yeah, I'm well happy with that. I'm just glad it starts. Did I come too close then? Well, that's it then. What I'll do, I'll save, because I'm knackered, I'm going to save the fuel filter, and then I've got the Haldex service to do, so I'll probably just tie all that in another video. But for now, If you did like what you see, please remember to like, comment and subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye.